this movie, it does what good movies do, which is it presents an idea, and it wants you to think about that, gives you a different perspective for coming at something that you may have already kind of written off as like, yes, I do eat meat, or no, I don't, or whatever. It's an interesting vehicle for questioning your animal product consumption, though, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it works.
Well, and look, I mean, again, I'm just joking about, I'm somewhat joking about,
Leatherface running for president in 2020.
No, that part I'm serious about. I think it might be our best option.
Good.
What I chastising out of this, it's difficult, man. I really don't like to do. I really have always, though I've actually held these beliefs for a long time. In fact, I think that there's a good possibility that if humanity lives for a few more centuries, I really do think there's a possibility that we're going to look back on the stuff that we did in factory farms, and we're going to look at that as a extremely bad part of what we did as humans. I really do think that if we live long enough to, and I'm not sure we're going to, but I really don't at this point.
Oh, don't be so,
Well, I mean, it's just things are getting out of control, and I don't know if Leatherface can even fix it in 2024. Anyway,
I mean, I agree.
The point is, maybe look,
these practices are when you see that stuff, it's wrong. So it's like, I don't know, just because it's out of sight doesn't make it less wrong. That's the problem, is that we have a system that allows us to be so detached from the way these type of slaughterhouses and all of that are functioning, that we're not solving the problem. Like, I think that if we had to deal with it more, that we would start seeing the innovation and the movement forward to improve those systems. But because we're so able to keep it out of sight, out of mind, and because those industries conspire to keep it out of sight, out of mind for their own benefit, so they don't have to change the ways that they're making profit from, it's taking us a lot longer to deal with that problem. And it is a problem. I mean, I don't think it's the right way to do things.
I think that it's also important for me to alienate everyone by saying that vegans are annoying. They are extraordinarily annoying a lot of times. The way they present what they think is correct is sanctimonious, and it's irritating. And oftentimes they're not actually a picture of health. Sometimes they are. I'm sure it's great. I don't know. I don't pay attention to any of this, but I know it's a little annoying. I get it.
It's not the way.
But you can actually eat less meat, be healthier. There's ways to do it. And honestly, even if you don't care about animals, like from my own personal way of doing things, when I made that change a long time ago, I was poor. So I'd eat Whoppers, and stuff like, it's like, okay, a Whopper was $1. I'd like eat a Whopper. And so granted, I wasn't eating like farm, like whatever, great organic beef or whatever, but like I felt a lot better when I changed and stopped and got that out of my system. But also people are different,
diet.
Our bodies are different. Some people maybe need
Whoppers.
maybe some people need meat. Maybe some people need less so. I don't know. All speculation on my part.
But either way, that's why you should leave people alone. But I don't think things should be hidden. I think we should be able to talk about things like fucking civilized people. We should be able to exchange our information on ideas without condemning each other, going beyond good and evil, all that. And things, blatant cruelty in the animal slaughter process should not be hidden, and it should not be tolerated. That should be something we strive to get away from. And if that requires consumers taking a little more interest in whether they're supporting that or whatever, then by all means, that may be the way. I just think that we have to, as soon as people get moralistic and get condemning and start like blaming, like other people for things, that it's like, hey, I mean, unless they're the ones kicking the chickens in the slaughterhouse, like it's not going to be the most effective way to approach something by blaming people. If you can remove that moralistic element, you can actually make progress, because most people are reasonable as long as you don't hit those nerves, as long as it doesn't get into that territory of, if you agree with me, it means you agree that you were a bad person before. Like, we have to keep ideas removed enough from our moral and value frameworks that it allows for people to actually engage with them without triggering that kind of like, now I have to be right thing. That's where people go wrong. Like, if you immediately try to present something in a way that makes someone else feel like they're a bad person for not agreeing with you, you've just made an impetus for them to fight against that, because now they're, either way, they feel like they were a bad person. So, people just shut down. So whatever. So I think, Leatherface 2024, think about ethics. It's important. It's a good thing. It's one of those things, it's the Ubermensch thing to decide what industries you support, how you're going to nourish yourself, what's right for you. But don't be annoying. That's how we end the podcast every time. Don't be annoying.
I think that is the Leatherface's slogan.
Don't be annoying.
Leatherface 2024. Let's think about ethics.